Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the LPL. We're heading into our second game of the night. It's going to be between Hard Random and Tricked Esports. And last game was an absolute stomp, I'm not going to lie, for Tricked Esports. They looked on fire. We'll have to see if Hard Random have what it takes to get back into this. If you've only just joined us, my name is Munchables, and casting with me, as ever, is Astiglus.
Yeah, and that last game was crazy, I tell you that. Zed being banned out against him, I wonder why. Can you imagine why he might be banning Zed out against Tricked? I think it's because the last one went like 18-0 or something like that.
I think he went 18-1 at the end, I believe was the
Insanity.
Score. Ridiculous.
Anyway, the other bands coming out. Zed, Kale, Lysandra, Jace, Thresh, and Gnar being the first pickup here. That is not too surprising. Gnar is just ridiculous on the current 4.20 patch. He was ridiculous even before that. You know, he wasn't available in Worlds, but as soon as he could be picked up, everyone started picking him up, and he has just been dominating competitive play just since, basically.
Yeah, he really has, and I mean, he's just got... What doesn't he have in his kit? That's the thing. Like, he's got Engage, he's got Disengage, he's tanky, he does a lot of damage, he has a speed up, he has a slow, he has 2 stuns. I mean, there's... You've just got so much in your kit. It's unreal.
The problem, the thing that he doesn't have, I'll outline it simply, is reliability, right? Like, obviously, you've got the fact that your passive is somewhat uncontrollable. Even if you build up nearly enough rage to transform, but then don't keep autoing, your rage actually keeps increasing after you stop auto-attacking for a few seconds. So, if you're not very precise with how you manage it, you'll transform when you don't want to, or lose your transformation when you don't want to, etc., etc. It's difficult to manage properly. On the flip side, though, we've got Corki and Janna being locked in the first rotation. This is pretty typical so far. I mean, normally you see a top laner, a jungler, or your bot lane, AD carry especially, being locked in that first pick. Then, when you go over to the other team, you get your bot lane locked in. It's the least easily counterable lane. It makes a lot of sense to go for that straight away.
Yeah, especially with Janna available. If you've banned out Thresh, there's not really anyone that has as much just lane dominance as Janna does. You've got so much defensive capability to just basically mean that your AD carry is never going to die kind of thing. But interestingly, we see Janna and Corki picked together. We don't usually see those two as a pair as often as other AD carries.
Yeah, I mean, that suggests to me that they really want some fairly decent disengage. Against a Gnar, that does make a lot of sense, I have to say. Like, Gnar has so much engage potential when he goes in that Mega Gnar form, uses his Gnar ultimate, knocks you into something, stuns you up with his wallop. When he jumps in, you want to be able to knock him away or dash away. Janna's one of the best at doing that. I actually think picking up the Janna is suggesting that there's going to be a very heavy disengage composition coming out of Tricked, and I like that against a Gnar. Especially when normally you see Gnar comboed with someone else that can make use of the fact that he jumps in like that. We saw the Xerath get picked, but typically you see like Orianna's and stuff like that. Still plenty of room for that kind of wombo combo to come out from HR.
I would love to see them lock in a Jarvan jungle. That would just completely
that combo
secure
is
that for
sick.
them. And I have seen Madwife play Jarvan jungle a few times before. He is a very good Jarvan jungle. I know his favourite jungler is Kha'Zix, which, RIP, is not so much in the meta anymore. He's struggling in the new jungle. I mean, you do still see him, but just not one of the power picks right now.
No, he's certainly not one of the power picks. And looking over at some other picks that are getting done here, we've got the second rotation for Trick. They're going for the Ahri and the Irelia. Ahri, obviously, doesn't provide much disengage to her team, but the Spirit Rush is going to be excellent at trying to dodge out of the way of those Gnar engages. Irelia, the inbuilt tenacity means she can't get CC'd for that long, and she's also got the ability to stun back and then maybe dive on the back line. So decent pickups against that Gnar. Fiddlesticks being hovered, that would be a great combo with this Gnar. They'd have such a crazy wombo combo if they pulled it off.
They definitely would, and we'll have to see if that is going to be doable for them. And I mean, Fiddlesticks, on his own, you can turn fights completely. If you can get a really nice crow stun, you can just do so much to the enemy team. But the entire enemy team, though, is pretty good at dealing with Fiddlesticks. I mean, you've got Ahri, obviously, can just Spirit Rush. You've got Janna, who you can monsoon him away, just get rid of him completely. And then you've got Corki with the Valkyrie, and then Irelia on the front line is just going to be tanky anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have ways of dealing with it. Gragas would be an interesting one, and it looks like that's what they're going to go for, along with that Nami. So, actually, this is kind of cool. I like what Hard Random's done here. They opened up with that Gnar pickup, and they said, look, I'm going to be able to engage on you pretty easily. Then, they picked up Lucian and Xerath, who are kind of neither here nor there. They can work in both ways. But then the last two picks, after we already see some Disengage and Kite come out of Tricked, were Nami and Gragas, who are both excellent at disengaging. And that's going to be so good against the Irelia and the Ahri. Like, their composition now can just disengage and kite backwards. You know, Gnar, you don't see him being used in this way often, but just throwing out boomerang tosses to disengage, and then going in when you get Mega Gnar after the enemy's poked down and haven't been able to go on you, is also a viable strategy.
Yeah, it definitely is, and that's what I would expect to see coming out of them. The final pick is going to be that Pantheon, so we're going to see some man drops coming in across the board. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to land those down. I mean, Kira is definitely a prime target for those not having any innate escape abilities in his kit. He's without flash up, he's going to struggle against that.
You can land your Shocking Orb whilst the Pantheon is landing on you. He might still be able to get off a spell depending on how quickly you do it and how quickly he does his spell, but it is a possible thing that you can do to avoid getting killed by that. Also, the rest of the team coming out for Hard Random have a lot of ways of saving someone that gets engaged on in that way. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Pantheon was that last pickup. They do need, if they want to be engaging, another hard engage, so Pantheon works for that. But with so much disengage on the side of Hard Random, I personally would have favored a more split push strategy to come out from Trick with that last pick.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, and not really got that good of a split push going on the side that they've currently locked in, but we are going to be heading onto the Rift for you guys. We're going to have Tricked Esports versus Hard Random. We'll do a quick rundown of this lineup. On the purple side, that'll be on the top, or the red side on the top right of your screen, we're going to have Tricked Esports. We're going to have Irelia in the top lane, played by Homer. We're going to have Pantheon Jungle, played by Moarth. We're going to have Ahri in the mid lane, played by Tyrannus. Janna is going to be our support for the game, played by Nico. And then we're going to have Corki, played by Salna in the AD carry role.
And on the blue side, in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we're going to have Hard Random. Nike 3 on Gnar in the top lane. Gragas being played by Madwife in that middle lane. Xerath played by Kira in the middle lane. Sorry, Madwife was jungle, I misspoke there. Wildheart on Nami as support, and Lex on Lucian as their AD carry.
Yeah, so seeing another Xerath picked up this time in a bit more of an appropriate lane. I don't really feel like that support Xerath last game paid off too much, but we should see a lot more poke damage and a lot more utility coming out of this mid lane Xerath. He's going to have the damage that he needs.
The good news for Xerath this game as well for Kira is that you're not up against Thresh, so there's not going to be any of that crazy roaming from the bottom lane to try and help your mid lane to secure a kill. But we are now onto the Rift, and I'm interested to see what these guys go for. Top lane, it looks like Gnar is actually going for that longsword, going to be harassing out Homer so much. We do see him doing the correct response to that, by picking up the flask, which is going to be very, very useful at sustaining through that.
Yeah, look at this Gragas retexture. He looks so much darker than he did.
He's tanned from drinking on the beach all the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess. That's what happens when you just drink all the time. You get tanned. It's a fact.
No, it is a
Alcohol
fact.
tans you.
Yeah.
It's true. But gonna see both teams just spreading out across the map. Janna's still in base only, just leaving Nico. Obviously, someone was at his door last game, so maybe grabbing a slice of the pizza or something like that. But gonna be heading on towards that bottom side of the jungle. Both teams know that each other aren't really going to be doing anything just yet. We're going to see a little bit of a trade in the mid lane, but nothing major going to be coming out.
Kira dodging out that Orb of Deception is going to mean that if Tyrannus wants to be on equal footing, he's going to have to go back to base here. Does have the time for it. Lex didn't actually dodge that Phosphorus Bomb, taking a lot of damage. Holy cow. He is certainly going to have to go back. Well, assuming the bottom lane Trick let him.
Yeah, they're going to probably try and stop him basing here. The Phosphorus Bomb just went over the wall, but not going to land onto him there. It was a blind Phosphorus Bomb, so we're going to see Salma going back to base as well. So everyone just playing it cautious. In fact, no, he is going to stay. I mean, there's not much reason for him to go back. So he's going to be quite happy to kick off with this Gromp. And actually, this could be really good for TRC. If they can get the Gromp while Lex isn't there for Krugs, I think he is going to get there just in time. That's spawned. They're not going to go for it. Wow. So we could see an XP advantage coming in for Trick.
The way that Hard Random can make this work for them is if they shove really quickly and try and get that wave to the tower as fast as possible. But to be honest, it's unlikely that that's going to work out well, because at a level 2, being hit by the bot lane of Trick can mean that they just freeze it and then deny even more CS to Lex. So he needs to be he needs to push this lane very quickly, and actually he's done a pretty good job of that. I guess Nami probably helped there. Nike 3 taking a lot of damage against Homer, holy cow.
Yeah, Homer really not afraid to go aggressive, and that's something we saw last game as well. No matter who he's playing, he's just going to go really aggressive. And I mean, if you get in that straight up 1v1 situation, like actually, Nico gets caught up by a bubble. They were level 2, but Lex was not really able to capitalize on that. We see Homer going aggressive again in this top lane. Has the Blade Surge available if he wants to go for this. One more auto attack and Blade Surge, he gets it. First blood comes in, and Homer just showing that this is not just wanton aggression, this is calculated aggression.
Yeah, Nike 3 actually missed catching his boomerang toss there. At that point, he couldn't really kite back properly. He knew that even if he flashed, he was dead due to the Blade Surge, so he didn't even try to. Had he caught the boomerang, maybe there was some salvation to be had there. Unfortunately, he died, had to burn TP to go top lane. Now, Wildheart, whoa!
Oh, a lot of damage going down onto him. There's the heal and the flash used. Exhaust as well. 3 summoner spells burnt in that trade, and TRC still have all of theirs.
Yeah, I mean, Lex is very healthy, but we do see Pantheon coming down here. Moarth wants some of this.
Yes, Salna baiting this perfectly, and now Nico's going to get the slowdown onto Lex. They're going to jump onto Wildheart. The bubble comes onto Pantheon, though. He's so low. Salna flashes forward to pick that one up, but he has his heal. No, he doesn't, sorry. He's maybe going to go down. Lex is not quite able to finish it, though. And now Moarth in a 1v1 with the AD carry. He's more than happy with that. Picks up the double kill for Tricked.
Man, Lex trying to flex there, but not quite able to get it. Unfortunately, Moarth was just far too strong for that. And, you know, I think that was a really smart play by Moarth as well. Going for Wildheart first, knowing that there's no flash on him, enabling a more likely kill. Tyrannus in the mid lane taking a lot of damage, but there's no more mana on Kira.
Yeah, it does have enough for the Shocking Orb. He's just relying on his passive basically here. He may go aggressive. The heal.
Oh, Madwife!
Tyrannus. Madwife is here. A really nice bait coming across. A good flash to dodge away from the barrel, though. But that's a summoner spell burned.
Knight 3, he is in a lot of trouble in this top lane too.
Yeah, the Blade Surge has been used. He's not going to have that gap closer, but he still has flash available. Knight could be in a lot of trouble. I expect both flashes to come out here. Blade Surge is up again, but they decided to back away.
Moarth!
Moarth flashes in this mid lane, picks up the kill with the crit spear.
I tell you, when you see a Pantheon doing this well in the early game, that is a sign that you need to be very scared if you're on the other team. Typically, you know, we've seen a lot of Pantheons in amateur games with Cast recently, and Pantheon has never been able to have as much of an impact as he'd like. However, this game, 3-0 at 5 minutes, that is scary as heck. He actually could solo that dragon really soon if he wanted to.
Right now, Tricked Esports are looking unstoppable tonight. The first game, they absolutely stomped. This game, it's looking to go in the same direction currently. I mean, Moarth is doing absolute work to bring his team this gold, and I mean, one of the kills was even a solo kill on the enemy mid lane. And Kira is a really good player. We saw his Syndra was absolutely destructive, but I mean, this game is just not been able to have the same effect on this Xerath. I mean, he is up in farm, but obviously going down to that jungle, maybe going a little bit greedy.
Yeah, I mean, Madwife needs to do something here. He needs to be able to compete with the ganks coming out of Moarth, because the late game power you get from Gragas is good, but it's not enough to completely nullify 3-0 Pantheon at 5 minutes. Sauna, though, he's got a lot of damage!
Lex could be in trouble here. The auto attack's coming across the Gatling gun as well, shredding that armor. Not really going to be able to follow in. A nice little phosphorus bomb. It's going to do a lot of damage to the shield. A second too late there. It's going to block all of the damage, though. And
oof.
If that bubble had landed, that could have been a dead Nico, but going to be able to get away with it.
Oh, Homer just hit 6!
We've seen both top laners hitting 6, and the pause has come through. Tyrannus having some microphone issues. Who do you think wins this level 6 fight in the top lane?
I think Homer can probably win this purely because of the fact that Nike is not near enough to a wall that he can actually get Gnar. He's also picked up his Sheen, which means he's going to have a lot of damage already. They both have Flash. Ideally, I think what Nike's going to need to do here is just use his Gnar ultimate to force Homer back towards his tower and then run away.
Yeah, and he's going to have Blade Surge up in 5 seconds. Just used that stun, and Hidden Style is available, so he's got a lot of damage he's going to come through.
Homer also has regeneration items, whereas Nike hasn't even been to base yet. All he's got is a longsword. That is pretty favorable to Homer, although obviously Nike does have a lot of damage inbuilt in his abilities.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I don't know if Nike can get away with this one. He needs, I think, to just ult Homer away and then flash the opposite direction.
Definitely.
However, with Blade Surge up in 5 seconds, if Homer flashes forwards, he may even be able to get back onto him, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting about if he can get it. He's already used Equilibrium Strike. That's going to be on cooldown for quite a while, so he's not going to be able to slow him up afterwards. And normally I kind of like it when we pause sometimes because you can do some really deep analysis into like one specific thing, right? Right now we are just looking deep into this top lane fight.
Yeah, and I mean it's not looking good for Nike in this 1v1. We'll have to see how he's going to be able to get out of this one. And in the meantime, looking across the map, Moarth is in this bottom side of the jungle, has not quite got his ultimate just yet, but I imagine he's relatively close to hitting that level 6 mark. Yeah, halfway through level 5, so 1 or 2 more jungle camps, he will have that man drop, and I expect him to start ganking even more. Picked up those Moby boots.
The mid lane is such a prime target for Moarth this game. Whenever you're against a Xerath and you're playing something which has really good ganking potential in the jungle, with someone like an Ahri who has decent kill potential by herself in the mid lane, it's so hard for Xerath to deal with. Like, one combination that we saw a while ago in one of the games that we cast was Ahri plus Vi, and as soon as Vi hit 6, and every time Assault and Battery was up, just went to that mid lane, guarantees the charm because he's locked up, boom, dead Xerath. Same deal here. A good man drop, especially when Kira doesn't have flash, which he doesn't right now, is going to enable a stun, followed by a charm, followed by a dead Xerath.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, as you mentioned, both summoners down on him, he's going to be in a lot of trouble if we see that come across. And Moarth, even if they don't use the man drop, he could come in at level 5 right now. He has Moby boots. If he can dodge the Shocking Orb, they pretty much guarantee a kill immediately.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Tyrannus isn't level 6 yet does kind of mean that I feel like it would be more useful for Moarth just to farm 6 quickly, because that gives you more options, right? Like, if mid lane, maybe say Tyrannus gets level 6 and just gets a solo kill, then Moarth can just head to that bottom lane or something like that. So hitting that early 6 was really paramount for him.
Definitely was, and we'll have to see how that pans out. I mean, Kira is doing a good job in this lane. He's 10 CS up, or 9 CS up, so he's doing well to farm. And if you have a look on the minimap, I can't actively show you because of the pause, but there is a big minion wave there that Kira is about to pick up as well. So farm-wise, he's actually doing better than his lane opponent here. So Tyrannus is actually falling slightly behind. If we have a look at the gold, right now Kira is 200 gold up on his opponent, and he's about to pick up that big minion wave. So despite all of this work that Moarth's been doing across the map, none of that gold has gone on to Tyrannus.
I mean, this is somewhat symptomatic of the Ahri versus Xerath mid lane matchup. Xerath is fairly favored, I would argue, unless you hit Amazing Charm pre-6. But due to the lack of mobility, as soon as Tyrannus hits 6, that swaps over rapidly. So him being ahead in farm isn't too surprising, and if I'm tricked, I'm not too concerned about it. I just don't want it to let it keep happening for nothing.
No, I'd have to agree, and we are seeing the readies posted in the chat. The game is going to resume in 3 seconds. We're going to see this top lane fight. Homer versus Nike. We're going to see Homer going incredibly aggressive. The Transcendent Blades is used, and Nike manages to get away. Directed camera, realizing that there's a fight going on, deciding that Moarth is the one that we need to watch.
Well, unfortunately for Nike, and something we didn't take account of, ooh, that was close, he actually transformed just out of Mega Gnar as soon as he hit 6. So he didn't have an opportunity to do much there.
Yeah, so not going to be able to do anything. I'm really surprised Homer didn't go more aggressive for that.
I think he probably just wants to shove the wave and make sure that he's healthy enough to teleport down if something happens. Because if we look at where Moarth is right now, he's near that dragon area. He's also going to counter jungle here.
Oh boy. He's looking like he wants to go onto Madwife. He is very fed right now. Nami's heading over that way. This could be bad for Lex in the bot lane. They're looking like... I mean, the whole side of Tricked right now, it looks like it wants to go aggressive. They're all like on the edge, just like, oh, I want to go in, I want to go in. But they're just holding it off. They know that this dragon is up, and if they lose a fight right now, it could swing the gold completely in the opposite.
Absolutely, and Nico actually taking a lot of damage.
The man drop lands onto Kira. Really nice charm to set that one off. Moarth picking up a kill there.
That's exactly what I was talking about during the pause. That combination is just nearly impossible for Azereth to deal with, and now this surely does signal that dragon.
Yeah, and they are going to be starting that one off. Obviously, Pantheon incredibly good versus this dragon. His passive is going to block out those auto attacks, so you can actually do it without taking any damage whatsoever, unless Nico walks underneath him and gets hit by that. But you see the shield's coming through, and that's going to be Wild Heart. Face checks it, gets stunned up, has to run away from this one now. Lex going to be on the front line. They're trying to contest this, and they're doing a decent job. Moarth relatively low here. He's not been able to auto attack, so he's not going to get passive. Madwife is on his own, though. The Ignite is going to be enough. Tyrannus picking that one up, and without the smite there, there's no way they can contest this. The Arcane isn't going to be enough, though. Just survives that one. The bubble comes across. They're not wanting to commit to that one. And
top lane.
We see Homer going aggressive. He's going to Blade Surge forwards. Knight could be in trouble again, although actually he's trading damage very evenly. Does get the stun, though. Homer with the Sheen damage. Does so much down to the tower. Knight with a beautiful play there.
That's Homer, man. Like, that was rough. I can't believe that just happened. He tried so hard, but Nike just able to get out of range of the Transcendent Blades there. That was very close to going the other way around, but a little bit too aggressive there from Homer. And now, actually, we do see Moarth going to that top lane, though. He might be able to get a return kill here in a second.
Yeah, it looks like he's looking for that. Mega Knot is going to be available. The ultimate will be there as well. As deciding he doesn't want to go for that fight, doesn't want to get stunned up against the wall. And I mean, Mega Knot puts out a lot of damage.
He does indeed. And actually, missing that boulder, though, it's a very long cooldown if you don't actually pick up the rock. Some people might not know this, but Gnar, both his boomerang and his boulder get really drastically reduced cooldowns if you pick them up, either by the boomerang returning to you or you walk into the boulder. But if you don't get it, it takes a while. Might have been an opportunity for Moarth to do something there. He's actually pretty fed right now.
Indeed. I mean, 401 has the boost ability, already finished his jungle item with that warrior enchant. He is incredibly strong, and we're going to see Grand Skyfall is available again. Kira, a beautiful prediction from Kira. Going to get onto Nico, but it's not going to be enough. The charm lands yet again. Going to donate that kill, but the flash over the wall is going to keep Kira alive for a little bit. Tyrannus has to flash away, doesn't have any mana to finish that kill off. And now we'll see Knight going in onto Tyrannus. No more gap closes available. Tyrannus goes down, and a huge misplay comes out from Tricked.
Yeah, Moarth got way too greedy there, thinking that Kira was definitely going to die to Tyrannus. Unfortunately for him, he did not. Now Kira survived on low health, they picked up the kill on Tyrannus, and they're going to be able to push down this mid tower, actually. They've got so much wave clear, and Nike has decent damage to towers.
Man, imagine you're Moarth right now. You're like, I've been picking up these kills, I thought, no, do you know what? I'll spread this gold across my team. The second you try and donate a kill, they just mess it up there, right?
Wild Heart.
Salna going aggressive in this one. Wild Heart so low. There's the last auto attack. Picks it up. The big rocket not going to connect though, so a lot of damage lost there for TRC, and not going to be able to get the double kill. Big trade going on in this top lane as well. Oof. The damage on these AD carries, they're so low. Could actually see them both go down here. Nico does have that Monsoon available though, so Salna should be just fine, and they're going to head back to base.
So one thing I quite frequently talk about whenever we see this composition coming out of, well, the one that Trick's running, right? When you've got the combination of Irelia and Corki, you get such a crazy power spike when both of them finish their Trinity Force. Right now, both of them are on track for hitting one at about 15 minutes. There's going to be another dragon around then, and that is going to be a scary moment for Hard Random. They need to be able to deal with that. Ideally, Gnar needs to finish his Randuins by that time, and we need to see some damage coming out of Lucian very badly.
Look how aggressive Homer is being right now. He's picked up Berserker Greaves. This guy wants to fight. like 100%. And he's going to be able to get this farm. Taking actually a lot of harass in this top lane Nike. Actually taking 2 tower shots there, and Homer's going aggressive.
Oh, man.
He's going to proc the Transcendent Blades along with the hit and style. Backing away though, doesn't quite want to go all in for it, but the life on hit he's going to get off this farm now. After he's pushed Nike away, if he can wait out the Mega Knight, he may have a kill opportunity.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Obviously, Mega Knight is going to give some base health back over to Nike, or rather than base flat health, I should say, but he has the potential to get the kill if he goes for it. Jungle, though.
Yeah, Mawaf being very aggressive. He's going in onto Mawaf. Going for this counter jungle. Gets knocked into Nike, and the right of the Arcane comes through. Really nice team play from Hard Random. The charm, oof, just missing in that mid lane. And now we see the bubble land onto Nico. Hard Random doing a really good job, despite being slightly behind in gold. Working incredibly well as a team.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of repelling the Pantheon invades. Harmony needs to be careful here. Whoa!
There's the Mega Gnar ultimate. It's not quite going to slow. The boulder just misses, so he's not
Tyrannus!
So
man.
low. And this is every single... Both of these games, we've seen so many people escape on tiny amounts of health, but we're going to see an all-in in this bot lane. There's a really nice double knock-up. Lex gets so low.
Exhaust.
The exhaust is going to block out so much damage there. Now the Monsoon does quite a bit of healing. The Tidal Wave is going to knock up Salna, but he manages to dodge away from that bubble. Wild Heart's so low. The heal comes out from Lex, and I really feel like Tricked just weren't willing to fully commit to that fight.
The problem was they needed to commit a lot of resources towards dodging things. You need to dodge the cone, you need to dodge the bubble, you need to dodge the tidal wave. Sana spent a lot of his time moving and not attacking there. That said, it did guarantee that they didn't die, and they actually did come out ahead in the trade. But Mad Wife's here, he's got the explosive cask. Can he turn this around?
We'll have to see, and it's definitely not a favourable fight for TRC unless they can land those rockets and snipe someone out. They have put a ward into that brush though, so they're going to be just fine from that one. I'm not going to sustain coming out of Wild Heart. They were both on about 100 HP a minute ago, and now they're pretty much full again.
Tyrannus is doing a really good job. He's caught up in farm, and he's also about to get this tower. That's going to open up so much roaming potential for him, and as Ahri, that is a very scary prospect for Hard Random.
It is indeed, and I mean, we've seen how strong Tyrannus can be when he gets to roam. Last game on that Zed, he was an absolute monster, and we've seen him do well on his Ahri before. He's got that DFG already, so if he can land some good charms, he could well get some kills. And Moarth is going to go in onto
TP.
Madwife. A nice stun from Madwife, though, going to block out Moarth's jump forwards there, and a nice explosive cast to just completely negate that game. Salna in a lot of trouble in this 1v1. Grand Skyfall comes through now. Wildheart on this front line is going to be able to heal himself up, but Homer has TP down as well. The bubble is going to land onto Homer. It's going to knock him up like so low. He gets away though. Salna picking up 1 kill. Actually, it went over to Moarth, but that is going to be 2 kills going across. Homer jumping in here. Salna tanking up the tower. A nice shield is going to keep him alive. That's the tower going down as well. 3 kills come in for Tricked. Only in trade for 1 on Tyrannus there.
That was so much global pressure, and Nike actually didn't have his TP at the beginning of that exchange. He had TP down earlier on to pick up that kill onto Tyrannus, so he didn't have it available. As a result of that, Homer came down, just absolutely wrecked face, and now, you know, there's not anyone available here to really stop the dragon, but everyone's too low on Trick to take it. So they're just going to go back, spend that gold, go back to dragon, and actually have an even more advantageous position when they go for it this time. There's the Trinity Forces 15 minutes. What was I saying?
An excellent prediction there. We are going to see those come out, and with this massive power spike, I would expect Tricked to just try and force a fight here. And I mean, if there's one thing we've seen come out of Tricked so far, it is forcing fights. So I would 100% expect them to just try and brute force this dragon now.
I definitely think they've got the potential to. Obviously, Transcendent Blades is a very low cooldown. That's almost back up. There's no Grand Skyfall, but Spirit Rush relatively close as well. I think they can do this quite easily if they decide to. Looks like Hard Random might want to contest it, though.
Yeah, we're seeing Tricked not quite fully going for it. They're very cautious about this. There's the tidal wave going to come across. The TP comes in as well.
Oh,
Wild Heart.
It got stolen!
Melted down, but a beautiful steal gets picked up by Kira. A really nice Arcano Pulse. They're going to pick that one up. And I mean, a one kill for a dragon, that's definitely in favour of Hard Random.
But they might lose this middle tower here. They're missing their big support disengage, stopping the siege from coming in. Obviously, there's a lot of poke on the side of Trick with Sauna on Corki and Tyradus on Ari. They can probably take this if they go for it. An explosive cask is really important here to stop it.
Look at the wave play there. Oh, the charm lands onto Madwife. He's so low, gets absolutely dropped by Salna there. And now we're going to see, again, they're setting up for this siege, and we've got Moarth is coming round from the side. Grand Skyfall is going to be available any second. He doesn't even need to, though. He's going to jump straight in onto Wildheart. So solo, has to flash away. Kira now getting caught up by that Orb of Deception. Takes a lot of damage. Doesn't have any mana.
Yanks in the back, though.
Oh, the shocking Orb so close. Knight gets knocked away by that Monsoon. Now Moarth incredibly low, in fact. Gets the stun down onto Tyradus. He's trying to follow this one through. Nearly in Meganar form. He's not quite going to be able to follow through, though. He's going to transform into Meganar, but he's not going to be able to get an ultimate on.
Yeah, and by the time the next fight, that Meganar is going to be ran out, obviously. So, you know, he needs to make the most of it for now, just throw some boulders out, get it back in time for the next fight. Homer, that was ballsy, man.
Yeah, he's going aggressive. There's going to be the ultimate coming across. Salna gets caught by that. Really nice engage from Knight. Picks up one kill. Homer just getting away barely. And now they're going to push on towards this mid lane tower, and suddenly they've turned this in their favour.
That's why you banned Gnar, but here's the Grand Skyfall.
Grand Skyfall, Nike in a lot of trouble right now. Moarth gets absolutely melted though. It was not the follow-up, and an explosive cask is going to knock him straight back into the team. That's the kill picked up for Nike, and I really feel like Nike deserved that kill.
The cool thing about Hard Random's comp is that if you engage against them, they can say, alright, we don't want you to engage, we're going to disengage right now. Or they can say, alright, you want to disengage? Nah, we've got explosive cask. You're coming right back here, buddy. And they're doing a great job of just making it so they punish every slight misstep right now. If they can keep that up, they can definitely come back into this game.
Right now,
only 3k gold behind.
I know, yeah, and I mean, right now, I feel like the big difference between these two teams is Trick seem to be all very good mechanical players, each all individually very good, but Hard Random seem to have a much better team.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job of both reading situations really well, like they read what Trick want to do, and also responding to them. They're doing a good job of just cohesively working out what they want to do. They want to disengage, re-engage, pick someone off, and then everyone works towards that goal, and they're doing an excellent job of carrying that out. But, you know, that doesn't mean that Trick aren't ahead right now. They are definitely ahead. The scary thing is, though, that Nike is 5 for 1, and Gnar can pretty much single-handedly carry games right now.
Definitely can, and I mean, Nike is an incredibly good top laner. I've seen him play a lot of Aurelia in the past, and he absolutely destroys on that champion, and by the looks of things, his Gnar is not far off the same level, picking up that Randuin's already, so he's going to be incredibly tanky. And I like this Brutalizer pickup. It's going to give him the AD, it's also going to give him the cooldown reduction.
CDR is so important. Oh, Madwife!
Madwife is in so much trouble. There's the DFG, there's the Spirit Rush coming out. Easy pickup there. Nice little catch in the jungle for Triggs.
Yeah, really good job. Homer in the top lane. Nike's actually going to run out of Mega Gnar soon. He could maybe fight this.
Yeah, he could possibly go in onto this one.
Especially with no wallop.
Yeah, that's going to be... Ooh, is he going to go in? Yes, he is. No, he's not. No, he's not. I've just been baited. Homer, stop doing this to me, man. But 3-1-2 on the Aurelia. He's definitely in a place where he could go for that fight, I feel.
I think he could have gone for it, but deciding not to. Like we were talking about earlier, though, cooldown reduction on Gnar. Getting those boomerang tosses up as frequently as possible is really, really important. It's one of the strongest parts of Gnar's kit, just having the ability to kite for days.
Yeah, definitely true. And I've seen some pings coming out on Baron, actually, interestingly. I think that's just to pinging toward it, maybe, but I don't think either team going to be wanting to start that off just yet. Very low level at this stage. It's going to be doing a lot of damage to them, but Moarth in this jungle trying to set something up.
I think that ping was that they saw that Gnar was sort of weirdly near the dragon, or sorry, Baron, maybe trying to set something up, and they just wanted to make sure no one walked through the river randomly and got caught by that. Moarth, though, wants to go in for this. Yeah,
we're going to see Moarth getting blocked.
Oh, the TP!
Got a really nice ultimate coming, a combo of ultimates coming across, and Nico in trouble. The jump not quite going to land for Nike. Throws out the boulder. It's going to land slow on Salna. Salna could be in trouble. But a nice DFG again from Tyrannus, but he's not got enough damage to finish off Madwife. Now Salna is going to be the focus target. Can they land any CC on him though? That's the question. And nice Arcano Pulse going to pick up that kill. Kira getting another one for his team, and now Wildheart gets turned on. Homer has arrived, and he absolutely bursting down on now Nike, trying to escape from this one. Homer uses his Blade Surge very aggressively. Maybe could have gone down there. Salna!
Whoa, buddy!
He gets the kill. He gets it, but trades his own life for it. Both AD carries getting a kill there. And I mean, that fight was so back and forth, but ends up in a 2-for-2.
I think what we're starting to see more and more here is that if you engage on a hard random without 5 people, they're going to get away and turn around. So you have to be cohesive. You have to go in all as one, proper team. And Homer has been late to a lot of fights. He had PP there. Why didn't he use it?
I don't know, but I really like this play coming out from Madwife as well. Every single time we see the stun come out of Moar, it gets blocked by the body slam. He stops him mid-jump and ruins that engage. And I mean, that has been so detrimental to Moarth's play. And when Moarth is the one snowballing, that is a big deal.
It is a very big deal. Have to see if Kira can get a second Dragon Steel of the game here.
He's definitely going to try for it. There's the right of the Arcane. It's not going to land though. Moarth picks that one up for the smite. And that's going to be a nice second Dragon coming in for Trick Esports, obviously. Going to give them that extra 15% damage against minions.
Very nice when you're trying to siege. It lets you clear it a lot faster. Especially when you've got someone like Homer who's going to be split pushing a lot. And Tyrannus who's main job is wave clear, basically. That makes your jobs a little bit easier. So it's nice to have. The next buff, though, the movement speed, that is the one which really matters before you get to the 5th buff. It gives you so much. I mean, if we look back when Janna used to give 8% to her team, that got nerfed for being too good. 5% isn't far off.
No, I'd have to agree. And look at Janna right now. 0-0-10. Quite an impressive score coming across. Actually,
where's the measures?
Yeah, Knight going very aggressive. There's the wall actually going to land. Tyrannus could be in trouble. The ultimate doesn't quite land onto the wall. Can he dodge that?
Oh!
No, he can't. You can't dodge auto attacks. That comes through with the true damage proc.
Perfect timing for the Mini-Gnar. If that had happened later or earlier, I don't think that kill would have happened. Well played by Nike. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, Nike is absolutely on it this game, and he saw that his team was having a harder early game, so he just said, "Look, guys, it's okay. I've got this. Get on my back. Get on my shoulders. I've got my backpack with me. And come on, let's get this victory." But they've not got the victory just yet. The other top laner, obviously, Homer, is doing just as well. 4-1-3 on that Aurelia. So both of these guys, massive force of contention in this game, and we'll have to see who's going to come out on top.
Mega Gnar can definitely carry a lot of weight. I mean, Mini Gnar, I don't know about that. I think realistically you're going to be carrying him, but Mega Gnar, that's a different story. Homer needs to be careful here.
Nice shield, going to block some of that damage over immediately. Going straight back into those minions. This guy's not afraid of anything. And I mean,
Salna should be.
Yeah, Salna getting focused down a little bit there. Nike trying to follow through on this. His boulder gets blocked by the minions there. He's not going to be able to chase in through on that, and definitely not a fight Tricked wanted Moarth all the way in that top lane.
Yeah, and Homer was nearby, but he'd taken a lot of poke already. So it's a bit difficult to convince yourself to go in that situation.
Yeah, so don't unfortunately have... That's one thing. How come we don't get to have the timers on the buffs? Players do.
It's a good question. It would be nice to have that, actually.
I'm going to email Riot. a strongly worded email. But, we are seeing some
Not
damage.
sure that was worth it by Moarth, just to take out the ward. Maybe getting a ranged buddy to come help him out a little bit would have been useful there. But they are going to try and get this tower. Homer needs to be careful.
Homer attacking up this culling does take a good chunk of damage, but he is relatively tanky at this stage. Has picked up that Warden's Mail, so going to have a decent amount of armor. We're seeing HR are grouping up. They're wanting to force these 5 versus 5 fights. They're feeling much more confident.
Well, I mean, the game is fairly close, to be honest. Oh, Wildheart, though. You can't get caught like that, buddy.
Wildheart, is the Ignite going to be enough? I don't think it is. He's going to walk away from that one. And
Moarth
gets caught by the explosive cast. He has to flash over the wall. A nice monsoon by Nico. Going to negate that engage. Nike trying to follow up, but gets caught by the Hound Gale. Turns into Mega Gnar, but he's not going to be able to land his
Homer's
ultimate.
coming in.
Takes a lot of damage from the tower. TP comes through. There's a nice charm over the wall. Knight could be in trouble. Has to flash away. The tidal wave to disengage this one. And I mean, this fight just so many ultimates used and nothing coming of it.
This is, I mean, what I was talking about earlier with the team compositions. I really like Hard Random's team composition when it comes to fighting like this. I feel like this is why picking that Pantheon was a bit questionable. You need to be able to split push against a composition like this because they've just got amazing team fighting. They can disengage or engage whenever they want to.
Yeah, they can, and we'll have to see. I mean, Moath right now needs to get a really good Grand Skyfall. He needs to kick off the fight with catching someone out like that, and with Tyrannus able to follow up with the charm. But so far, aside from in lane, they've not really been able to get that combo off, and now that we're out of that laning phase, it's going to be much harder for them to set up.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the junglers actually, talking about them, Madwife is really far behind this game. 1 for 4, 68 farm to 111.
Nearly half.
I mean, he is very far behind, but those explosive casks are just doing so much regardless. It's one of the cool things about, you saw Gragas being played as a support for a while, right? And supports, the cool thing about them is they don't need much gold. All their spells, the utility, the crowd control, that doesn't really scale that much. Explosive cask, main use is a knockback effect. And even when you're in the jungle and not farming particularly well, you still get a lot of mileage out of that. He's doing a really good job with very little resources.
He is indeed, and I mean, Gragas is one of those champions that isn't too item reliant. I mean, he'll majoritively be building tanky this game anyway, so long as he's tanky enough to get that explosive cask off and kick off the fight, then he should be relatively okay. But we are going to see them grouping up, heading towards this bot lane. They did get spotted by the ward, obviously were able to sweep that out, but Salna is not going to get caught out from that one. But we could see Moath getting caught out. To dodge the stun. The passive is going to block that auto attack from Lex, so he's going to be okay from this one. And Dragon spawning in 5 seconds, I would fully expect both teams to want to fight for this.
Yeah, Nike's got his teleport. Homer doesn't, but he's already down there, obviously. Madwife's trying to come around the side. They want to go in, the scrying orb goes down, teleport comes in!
Shocking orb lands onto Nico. He takes a lot of damage. The tidal wave comes through. Nico should go down here. Yes, not picking that first kill up right in the arcane. Not going to be able to pick anyone up here. Homer on the front line, 1v3ing and doing a decent job of it too. Moath going to go down in that back line. In that back line. Nike managing to pick up a double kill now. He's looking to go onto Homer now. He's about to turn into Mega Gnar. He got a double kill in Mini Gnar form, and now, if he can get a nice ultimate off, he could pick up more kills, but Homer going to be able to dodge away from that boulder. Looks like they're going to be able to disengage this one, but Dragon is still up after all of that.
That was really well played by Hard Random. Perfect exhaust onto Homer when he went in, and that it was very hard for him to actually make anything happen. Nike did a great job of making sure that Nico died straight away, and then zoned out Tyrannus. Tyrannus used Spirit Rush, but had full health and loads of mana and hardly did anything in that fight. As this game progresses, we're really starting to see the compositional advantage that Hard Random have come to effect.
Yeah, and as well there, just sheer coordination. These guys are working together so perfectly, and Nike right now is pretty much unstoppable. He just basically walked through straight into that back line, and there was nothing TRC could do about it. But I say that, TRC looking like they want to do something.
It just
about
got warded though.
Kicking off this Baron has been warded. They're deciding they don't want to go for that if the enemy team knows. Yeah,
I think that was very much a hopefully they don't know we're here. We'll go for it if they don't situation, and unfortunately for them, Kira spotted it out with that ward. But now they're gonna have to back away. This is a very difficult situation for Tricked. They need to catch someone or to split push. Their team fights, unless they get a perfect engagement with a Grand Skyfall, are just not going to go well. That or they need to disengage a fight after loads of ultimates have been burned on the side of Hard Random, and then actually go back in whilst Hard Random don't have those ultimates. Those are the scenarios where Tricked can actually make something happen here.
Yeah, we'll see if they can force one of those scenarios to happen. Obviously, Grand Skyfall, it's available, but we've not really seen it used as much as it should have been.
Nah, it's been difficult for Moarth to go in, though, due to the fact that Hard Random being behind in the early game stuck together. This is actually something that last game, we did not see from the other team. Tricked abused that fact, and that's why it was so strong. But this game, Moarth can't go on people, because they're not alone. Hard Random are doing such a good job of playing as a team that there's no openings in their defenses. There's no gaps in their armor.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so hard for them to achieve anything, and we saw them trying to siege earlier, but against a Xerath and a Lucian, and a Gragas in fact, you don't have any minions to siege with ever, because unless you can get a pick off first and manage to kill one of them, but at the minute it's just not happening for them.
No, it's not. This red buff going to go down to Lex here. At this point, I would argue that Hard Random and every fight are going to be really far ahead.
Lex has actually, interestingly, picked up an Elixir of Wrath, so Hard Random potentially wanting to force an engage here. They're heading up towards this mid lane. They've been spotted out by a ward.
They've got all the tools they need to force an engage, that's for sure. I mean, they've got the Explosive Cask, Tidal Wave, Gnar can go in and Gnar stuff up. And pushing this tower is the perfect excuse to go for this, because Tricked have to defend this, and they need lots of people too. There's a teleport coming in, Grand Skyfall!
Grand Skyfall is going to land onto Lex, a really nice bubble to negate that, and a beautiful Gnar ultimate onto two people. Nico getting taken very low, but Nike's on his own here. Wildheart did go down at the beginning of that fight, and we see Kira and Lex able to deal with Homer, but in the meantime, Nike is on his own. The right, the Arcane comes through though. He's not going to pick anything up. A really nice monsoon is going to keep him alive. Tyrannus picks up a double kill. He's going to land the charm. This is going to be a triple kill coming through for Tyrannus. Beautiful play. And TRC out of nowhere pick up an ace.
That was crazy, and it all boiled down to the fact that Nike, although he landed a good ultimate, took too much damage from Tyrannus, because obviously that Orb of Deception plus DFG is just insane. That's true damage being amplified right there. That is tons. Homer, on the other hand, there was no exhaust for him that time. Look at Wildheart, he still got it. Whereas on the flip side, Nike got exhausted, couldn't do as much, and as a result of that, Lex couldn't quite put down the same amount of pressure as Sauna.
Yeah, and I was gonna give Homer a hard time for going in on his own like that, but I mean, the amount of time he distracted 3 members of Hard Random just meant that the rest of his team could pick up these kills elsewhere, and Tyrannus obviously picking up a triple kill purely because Homer had managed to do that damage to them and to just completely keep them away from the rest of the fight.
Yeah, this is one pretty significant difference between both the top laners this game. If you look at Homer, he's got a lot more damage right now, although he needs to be really careful.
Yeah, he's going to get caught out by that. I don't think he's going to go away from this one. The movement speed going to come in on tonight. Gets the slowdown with the boomerang. He's going to go down. Lex picking that kill up.
Yeah, that was far too much crowd control going down with him. This is what I was talking about with that Gnar pickup. Those boomerang tosses just come out again and again and again. It feels like you can't move because you can't be slowed for so much for so long. And Homer, that was really bad positioning. He just threw away the advantage that Tricked his game themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, not a good situation for them, and with him still down for 20 seconds, Hard Random looking like they want to push towards this mid lane. Not as much wave clear on the side of Trick, but they do have enough to deal with a minion wave, so Hard Random gonna have to push very, very aggressively to actually get any damage on this tower, and they're looking
especially with the super minions.
Exactly, yeah, they don't want to commit to that right now.
Yeah, so they are backing up now. Dragon's up in 30 seconds. They've got the potential to do it. And they burned hardly anything for Homer. There was no ultimates or anything like that that went down. Wildheart didn't have to use exhaust. He's going to be up for next fight. It's big. Tyrannus not getting caught. Does take it. Whoa, that's a lot of poke. He needs to be careful.
Oh, right, the Arcane comes through.
Great
it's not
dodge.
gonna land though. Tyrannus with the fancy feet is going to be able to merrily skip between those, and it's going to walk away A-okay, but he's not going to go back to base, interestingly. So he's going to be low if we do see a fight kick off for this Baron. And look at this minion wave in the bot lane. That's a lot of minions that Hard Random are missing out on, purely because they can't afford to go down there right now. Actually, the Dragon going to be started off by Hard Random. Trick potentially could have pushed Baron, but not choosing to go for anything like that.
I'm really surprised that Tyrannus didn't decide to go back. I guess they were just afraid of the Dragon being taken, but it happened anyway. Now I believe it's 3 dragons on the side of hard random to 2 on the side of Tricked, and that 5% movement is a really big deal. Especially when they're a team that excels at engaging and disengaging, that just gives them the potential to do it from even further away.
Yeah, and especially for Nike, when he gets that hyper boost, obviously the 5% movement is going to stack with that, so essentially makes that more effective as well. So he's going to be in a good position for forcing these fights, getting those engages with the big Gnar ultimates. But looking across the scoreboard, the gold is still in favour of Tricked. They've got that middle inhibitor down as well, so they have a lot of map pressure coming off that. So despite these 3 dragons, Tricked still looking incredibly comfortable. 7,000 gold ahead right now. And the gold is relatively well placed across their team. Not as much as they'd like on the AD carry. 11 assists on him, going support Corki this game. But obviously 8 kills on Tyrannus, 7 kills on Moarth. Those guys do a lot of damage.
They do, but the problem is they need the right kind of a team fight. And the only reason they won that last one is because there was no exhaust on the corner. Had that been there, Tyrannus would not have been able to clean it the way he did. So this next fight, even though they're really far ahead, I'd still say the composition coming out of hard random is stronger in a straight-up engagement. They need something like a good amount of poke going down or a catch to snowball into something else.
Looks like they're
Tyrannus!
For that catch. Tyrannus very close to getting caught there, but he's going to be able to walk away. Look how much damage that one Arcano pulse did to Tyrannus. He's taking about a quarter of his HP. If they can land 2 or 3 of those Arcano pulses, they could probably dive a tower.
Yeah, and actually, Tyrannus went over to pick up his blue here, and they're doing a good job of just waiting out the Mega Gnar on the side of Nike. As soon as he gets Mini Gnar, that's the time that they want to be fighting onto him, because he won't have that massive Gnar ability.
Yeah, and I mean, basically, it's just completely taking away his ultimate. That is a huge, huge deal. Obviously, your ultimate is your most powerful ability, so if you can force a fight when he can't use that, it's going to be heavily in your favour. And Tricked positioning very aggressively towards this Baron area. Inhibitor has just respawned, so actually right at the Arcane being used there. Nice little bait by Tricked.
Sight of the Arcane. It's just useful as 3 charges of wards that disappear after a second. That's what that ability is all about. But now that it's down, TRC want to go for this. Oh man!
Nico with the Flash Howling Gale, he's going to manage to get onto Madwife. There's the stun to follow up, but Madwife is so tanky right now. Tyrannus doing a lot to Wildheart. He's not going to go down, and Nice Mikhail's is going to keep on.
Oh, the Gnar!
Double bubble. The stun's coming out. Salna flashes forwards to pick up the kill onto the support, and this is going to be a 2 for 0 so far for Tricked. Really nice engage from them. They're picking it up, and the charm lands onto Nike. He is so low. Is he going to get away? No, he's not. Tricked. Homer picks up another kill. That's going to be the mid inhibitor.
Could be game.
They could push for game. There's 30 seconds still on Wildheart. 2 people alive. Homer tanking up this tower. They have everybody still up. Moarth now actually getting stunned underneath that tower. Takes a lot of damage, in fact. There's the Zonius from Tyrannus. He could be in trouble here. There's the stun. He goes down, in fact. So maybe a little bit greedy. They could have rotated to either the top or the bottom. They had 2 towers available.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, that bottom one is not going to fall anyway to the minions. They can get this top one too. But definitely too ballsy coming out of Tricked. And that fight, this is what I'm saying. They need to get picks to start fights. That pick onto Madwife meant that Madwife couldn't play the initiator role he likes doing. And it meant that Tricked were in control of the pacing of the fight. That's exactly what they need to do if they want to deal with the competition coming out of Hard Ram.
Yeah, and we'll see if they're able to force that again. And I mean, just... They didn't even use Grand Skyfall there. They didn't need to. They just walked into the fight.
The time it took for him to jump would have actually meant that he didn't get to the fight in time. Because he was so close anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, Homer just engaged that one. He just literally walked into and just went... In fact, it was Nico, wasn't it? With Flash Howling Gale to begin it. And immediately we saw, I think it was Lex and Wildheart flashed away to get away from that Howling Gale. So immediately popped 2 summoner spells and knocked up Madwife.
Nike just got denied a pink ward by the replacing of one by Nico. Obviously, you can only have 1 pink ward on the map. If you place a new one, the old one disappears. A nice way to deny a little bit of gold. I think it's, was it 50 gold, something like that. It's fairly a small amount, but anything matters, you know? You want to make sure you've got as much of an edge as possible. And now, Nico needs to be really careful.
Narrowly avoiding that stun. That could have been disaster if that had landed onto him. He's going to be okay, though. Obviously, the movement speed when you're playing Janet is very nice for dodging those abilities.
Yeah, and once they pick up that third dragon, if they can manage to, their whole team is going to move so quickly with the combination of the 3% from Janet too.
Yeah, they're going to be zooming around that map. We have seen now the Magi Soul Stealer picked up on Jano. We'll see how many stacks that's on. It is on 8 stacks currently, so it's gold efficient right now. But we're going to see Tyrannus actually taking a lot of damage. They're right at the arcane going through there. Tyrannus getting so low, but the directed camera keeps on looking at Nike for some reason. Tyrannus is going to be able to get away with that one in the meantime. The top laner's just having a bit of a wet noodle fight.
Homer can't actually 1 versus 1 Nike at this point. He is way too tanky. And Homer takes a lot of damage. Nike, he's nearly Meganar. He wants to go in here.
He's going for it. He's trying to get onto him. He's not quite able to follow that one up. And nice little Valkyrie gonna be able to get Salna away from that one. And they're looking to chase onto Homer here. Homer could be in trouble. He has his Blade Surge.
He is doing so good at dodging those boulders.
Yeah. He's going to be able to walk away from this one by the looks of things, but this is the dragon being started off by Hard Random, but Salna has a lot to say about this one. The man drop's going to come through as well. This is going to be a smite war, and it gets picked up by Madwife in the end. But now we get a lot of damage coming in onto Homer. A nice Monsoon going to keep him a healthy amount of HP, and a decent engage from Tricks, but they still don't get that dragon.
Yeah, nice smite away that by Madwife there. And to be honest, look at the movement here. It looks like Trick might want to go for Baron, whilst there's no smite available for Madwife. They know that they're going to force a fight, and look at how few ultimates are available for Hard Random here.
Yeah, and if they can force this hard engage, this could be bad for Hard Random, but they are kicking off this dragon. Obviously, the true damage from Aurelia is going to melt through that health bar relatively quickly. The right arcane going to come through. Tyrannus taking a lot of damage. Having to use the Spirit Rush to survive that. That's going to be the support going down. 2 members going down now. Homer trying to escape this fight. We see Mawaf does manage to pick up the Baron, but is it going to be all of them going down for it? It's not going to be worth it if it is. Double kill comes across for Kira, and it's 3 kills for the Baron. Do you think that's worth?
I do not think that was worth it for Tricked. It is going to be so hard for them to push against these minions. They do not have the ability to siege very well. Corki and Ahri provide decent poke and decent wave clear, but not against Baron buff minions. It's not going to be enough, especially when Kira is instantly killing your minion waves. Luckily, they've got super minions. Oh, sorry, they got the Baron buff. You're right. Right. As I was saying, it's going to be hard for Hard Random to push into this Baron buff here. Having said that, though, I'm not sure Trick can abuse it as much as they'd like to. That Randuin's was very awkward from Homer, miles away from Lex at the time. But it's... I guess because nothing happened during the death timers, this could work out for Tricked, actually. I'm going to rescind my previous statements that were completely inaccurate. Thank you for that, Munch, for letting me know that I was being a doofus. But at this point, yes, Tricked could maybe do some sieging here, and Kira, because they're Baron buffed, won't be able to siege them up. Probably Nico, though.
Yeah, Nico could be in trouble. There's going to be the ultimate coming through the right of the arcane as well. The slow is there, but he's going to be able to dodge 2 of those stacked. Homer now going to arrive, just stuns up Madwife. Going to be able to get his teammate safely away from that one.
Yeah, nice job there, dodging out those right of the arcane blasts by Nico, and also shield at the end, keep him alive. Homer coming in with a stun. But, you know, look right now, Nike's pushing that top lane. Nico, he's actually not gone back, relying on that Monsoon to heal him when it comes time to use it. This could be bad. Sauna gets caught by the bubble.
Gonna see the fight kicking off. Homer gets stuck in this front line. There's the tidal wave, but it's not gonna land on anyone. A really nice Gnarl though. That's gonna lock everybody up the bubble. Not gonna land. Madwife gonna maybe go down. No, he doesn't. Jano is the only one to fall so far, but Nike now follows him shortly. And we see the Spirit Rush.
Whoa, Tyrannus
does so much damage. There's the charm coming through. Double kill for him. That's gonna be Wildheart. Picked up by Salna as well. This could be game. They're heading towards this mid lane. The Grand Skyfall goes down onto Kira.
That's a lot of damage.
So much damage. Flashes back in. Doesn't get the crit on the spear. He wasn't quite low enough. Kira going to be able to get onto the fountain and survive this one. But that's the middle inhibitor going down. They're looking like they're going to push towards this bottom one as well.
Yeah, that was a really nice fight for Tricked. Very, very solid play from Tyrannus.
This could be game if they push for it. I think they have the damage. They're heading onto this. Right, the arcane comes through Salna. Tyrannus, sorry, with the Zhonya's. Waits it out. Really nice play by Kira there. He's going to be able to pick that one up, and Not going to be able to end it, but 2 inhibitors is better than 1.
Hard Random just hanging on by a thread at this point. They really need a miracle to come back after 2 inhibitors and Baron died to them. The gold lead has extended to almost 10k. Homer, though, I don't think he can actually kill Madwife that easily in a 1v1 here.
No, Madwife is starting to get very, very tanky. Doesn't have that much armor, though. He's got that Spirit Visage, he's got a lot of HP, but the only armor he has is that Chain Vest, and Homer does deal true damage, so maybe could go for that one, but obviously, in the enemy jungle, doesn't want to go too aggressive. He could get caught out and just taken down.
Yeah, thankfully for him, health is a bit better against true damage than armor is, because the true damage, unlike Vayne, it's flat, so Vayne, because of percentage, that's still going to do a ridiculous amount of your health, but decently defensive against that coming out of Madwife. This dragon's coming up in a minute, and actually, there's quite a few on the side of Hard Random now. If they get the next one, they have 5.
Nico going very aggressive in this top lane. That's not a 2v4 that you want, though. Obviously, Moath was nearby to use that Grand Skyfall, but with Tyrannus in base, that was not a fight that they wanted to kick off.
If Hard Random get this last dragon buff, that could be their ticket back into this game. 5 dragons gives you so much stats. Doubles all your other buffs, and gives you an amped up red buff damage thing where you deal tons of true damage over time after every attack.
Yeah, in all honesty, I really want to see Hard Random pick up this last dragon, because I've yet to see the 5 dragon buff picked up by a losing team. I want to see how powerful it is to come back into a game, but looks like the fight is not going to be anywhere near. Moath gets caught out by the ultimate from Gragas, but he is so tanky. He's more than happy to tank that. Salna taking a lot of damage from that right of the arcane, and the poke coming out from Kira has so far been enough to stop the siege, but a Monsoon is going to top everyone up again. Homer, the only one not full HP right now, and they're going to go for round 2 of this siege. The ultimates are not going to be there this time. Obviously,
oh man!
Madwife gets caught up and just gets obliterated. He's so tanky, but it just doesn't matter now. Wildheart going to be the target. Gets a nice bubble onto Tyrannus. That's going to keep him alive. This is going to be the inhibitor going down. There's no right of the arcane to finish off these low health targets. Homer nearly goes down to Mikhail's going to keep him alive there. That is the 3rd inhibitor going down.
Yeah, that was actually really nice by Nico. He knew that just trading the Monsoon for the right of the arcane was totally worth it if they could then take that inhibitor. Really good call there, not necessarily needing to save it for Nike coming in with an ultimate or something like that. 3 inhibitors down, dragons up. I don't think we're going to see that 5 dragons munch. I mean, Hard Random can't leave their base.
No, right now this is not contestable. That's finally going to be that 3rd dragon for Trick T-Sports.
Yeah, and the movement speed is going to be fairly useful, but at this point in the game, they really just want the tower damage to end it, to just put down that final siege, kill the last remaining turrets on the side of Hard Random. It's going to be really hard for them to come. What do you think they need to do here?
In all honesty, I'm not sure there is much they can do aside from maybe pick someone off. If they can land a nice shocking orb onto one of the carries, then that could well turn the team fight in their favour. But even if they win a team fight at this stage, what do they achieve? They've got 3 inhibitors down. They can't push any lanes just because of the sheer amount of super minions.
I think, they need a pick, but they need that times 10. They need to keep picking people off. And I can't imagine Trick are going to let that happen.
No, I would expect not, but I mean, crazier things have happened, so it is definitely possible. Hard Random, very strong team, but looks like Baron is going to be started off by Trick, and they are going to melt through that health bar. Nothing Hard Random can do. Oh, this one, they were right at the arcane, though.
That would have been beautiful.
If he'd got that. The second I say nothing they can do. But that is going to be picked up. A nice smite there by Moath, obviously. The smite is going to do more damage than the right of the arcane. Going to be able to pick that one up. And now heading towards this mid lane. This could well be the end of the game, to be honest, with this Baron buff as well. I'm not sure that this is...
Oh, Nico, though! Whoa!
Nico takes a lot of damage. Splash away. Howlingale's the wrong direction. But this is going to be the bottom inhibitor. It respawns and gets immediately taken down. Super minions are pushing on towards these next towers now. With Baron buff, yeah. I mean, look, That Nexus Tower is so low. 1 or 2 more auto attacks will finish that one off. The culling having to be used on minions. Knight doing what he can.
Oh, Gyarados got narred!
Gyarados gets stuck. But a nice Sonya's is going to block the explosive cast. They're all grouped up. A nice Monsoon to just negate this. And they're trying to just end. Corki is on these Nexus Towers. He's doing what he can. That's going to be the last tower going down. The Nexus is going to be focused down here. They can't get the kills they need. And the game goes across to Tricked Esports.
Really well played by them. They had a scary bit of time in the middle where they just seemed like they couldn't click how to deal with the composition. But as the time progressed, they worked out, look, you know, we just need to save